Therapeutic Communication, Nurse-Client Relationship, Session 4. Objective for this session. The first objective, define the concept of a nursing-client relationship. Describe the characteristic of therapeutic nursing relationship. Analyze the 4 phases of nurse-client relationship. Discuss tasks in each 4 phases of the relationship. The key concept in therapeutic relationship. The first one is the therapeutic relationship between the nurse and the client, built on a series of interaction and developing over defined period of time. So the period of time also it is limited here in the therapeutic relationship. About the client he is any individual or family or group or community with an unidentified healthcare need requiring nursing intervention. The nurse-client relationship is an interdependent relationship, so it is between the nurse and her or the healthcare professional and their clients. The key concept of therapeutic relationship, though relationship by Merton Peppers. It means equal relationship marker by respect, mutuality, respect of from both sides, mutuality, and reciprocity, which is the mutuality beneficial relationship with a balanced level of give and take. About Peppers' work from the theoretical foundation for using of confirming responses in which the helping person identify an observable strength of another person and comment on it. So he, as a nurse or as a health profession, you have to identify the strength of the other party or your client and work on that. Collaborative relationship by La Sala, which means the collaboration between both parties. Suggestion for facilitating empathy. In order to facilitate empathy in your relationship, you have to actively listen carefully to the client concern. Use open-ended question. Avoid close-ended question unless if it is needed. Tune in the physical and psychological behavior that express the client point of view. Do self-check often for are you using stereotyping or premature understanding, responding to the client before understanding properly what he is talking about, understanding of the client issue. Set aside judgment or personal biases. Be attentive in your listening responses and ask for validation frequently in order to be sure about what the client meant by his talk or by his response. Mentally picture the client's situation and ask appropriate questions to secure information about area or issue you are not clear about. So you have to have a full picture in your mind about your client when you are discussing his case or anything with him. Give yourself time to think about what the client has said before responding or before asking the next question. So understand the issue that discussed before, then give yourself a time to respond. Mirror the client level of energy and language. Be authentic in your response. Be flexible. Characteristic of therapeutic nurse-client relationship. It has to be a client-centered. So the main concentration is in your client and the objective that you set for your client. From maturity to partnership. So the relationship also, it has to be a mature relationship and sharing relationship. So the sharing here, it means the client will be able to do the thing, or he will share in the planning, he will share in the process of even implementing the nursing care. The professional boundaries. We have there on the professional boundaries, we have the boundaries, violation and the crossing. Level of involvement. In the level of involvement, it might be over involvement, or it might be, in this case, that you are trying to come out from the patient involvement and less involvement of the patient care. We have to be helpful always for our client, helping him to achieve the goal that we set, but we should not be over involved or under involved. Warning sign for the nurse becoming over involved. If she is giving extra time and attention to a certain client rather than other clients. If she is visiting the client in an off hour after her duty, this is over involvement. Doing things for a client that he can do by himself, it is an over involvement. We have to let the patient do the thing that he can do it. Discounting the action of other professionals. Also, keeping the secret with the client also, it is over involvement. Believe that the nurse is the only one who understands the client need. Presence also should be there. Self-awareness, we have to be aware of ourselves in dealing with the client. The key question for reflection in a client-centered interaction. In order to check if we are using a client-centered interaction or not, we have to ask ourselves those questions. Can I behave in the same way that will be perceived by other person as trustworthy and as dependable or consistent in some deep sense? Second, can I be expressive enough So can I express myself enough as a person that what I am will be communicating unambiguously? So the communication with the client, it should be unambiguous, it should be clear. So can I use a clear communication? Can I let myself experience positive attitude toward this other person? Attitudes of warmth, caring, liking, interest, and respect. Also, can I be strong enough as a person to be separated from the others? Because we said that the therapeutic communication, it has a limitation. So after the end of after achieving the goal, can I have this ability? Also, can I let myself enter fully into the world of my client feeling and personal meaning and see this as he or she does? It means, can I understand him fully with my mind? So from all aspects of life. Can I act with a sufficient sensitivity that my behavior will not be perceived as a threat in the relationship? So I have to be sensitive in communication with the client in order not to be understood in a different way that might affect the relationship with him. Can I meet this other individual as a person who is in the process of becoming or will be bound by his or her past and by my past? So if I know that person and I know his past, it means that it should not be affecting my therapeutic communication with him. And if he know me previously also, this should not affect the care and the goal of care that we set. Nursing roles and client relationship is what we call it the Bilius 6 nursing roles. Bilius, he divides the roles of the nurse to 6 roles. The first role, it is the role of stranger. So in the role of the stranger, so you have to receive the client the same way one meets a stranger in the other life situation. Provide and accepting climate that builds a trust. This role, it is mainly used when we are meeting the client on the first time. So we have to deal with him in a way that we can enter his or communicate with him properly and understand the characteristic of that client. The second role, which is the resource role. The resource role, the nurse or the health professionals, they should be as a resource for the client, answering his question, interpreting the client treatment data, give information for him that is needed. So whenever the client is asking, we have to be ready for the answer. That means that we have to know about his case and his treatment plan properly. The third one, which is teaching role, which is giving instruction and provide training, involve analysis and synthesis of the learning experience of that client, depend upon the goals. The fourth role is counseling role, which helping the client to understand and integrate the meaning of current life circumstances, provide guidance and encouragement to make a change that he is agreed upon it. The fifth role, it is the surrogate role, which help the client to clearly domains of dependence, interdependence and interdependence, and act on a client behalf as advocate. Because in nursing procedure, you know that we have dependent activity, interdependent activity, and the dependent nursing activities. So we have to act according to that. Leadership role, which helps the client to assume maximum responsibility for meeting treatment goals in mutually satisfying way. Again, the phases of relationship, we discussed it many times in the previous sessions. In the stages of it, we have the pre-orientation or pre-interaction phase. It is the only phase that the client does not directly participate. So it is before we meet the client. It is in this phase we have to create a physical environment for a successful relationship with that client. The orientation phase, in this phase we have to clarify the purpose of the relationship, establish a trust with the patient, identify the client need, participant observation, participate and observe the progress of the relationship, defining the problems of your client, defining the goal for your client. The third phase, which is the working phase, in this phase we have to explore the activity interaction, tuning in a client responses pattern, diffusing challenging behavior. We have to be self-disclosure, it will be there. Termination phase, which is the last phase. In this phase there are two main things which is there, and we have to think of them. The evaluation, it is easy and you know about it, that we have to evaluate the patient progress, what's the thing that we reach to, and what's the next plan if the patient to have or is in need for continuing care outside the health institution that we work in, and if he is in need of referral. The second thing which we have to think of it, which is sometime it might be stressful for us, which is the gift giving. what do you think of the gift giving? In most institutions, gift giving it's not accepted, except if it is, I mean in here in health institution, if it is some type of chocolate or something like this. And in this case it should not be personal. So if a box of chocolate or like this is given to a nurse or a health worker, it has to be for all, not a person. And you have to let the patient or the client know about that. It is not accepted to have a personal benefit from your client. We should not accept money or jewelries or give him money or jewelries. In most of the institution, those rules we have to refer back to the rules of the institution in regarding gift giving in order to be safe and not to put yourself under observation or a certain issues.